Marvelous debates.
So, what culinary delights will tickle the pickle tonight?
Tater tots and chocolate.
How's it going, guys, and welcome to Marvelous Debates. We are here to talk to you about some of our favorite Marvel and MCU films. We want to touch base today on some Easter eggs that we may have missed in the Tom Hardy's Venom. Some interesting stuff. We would definitely like your opinion, and just let us know on what you think. And that's what this whole show is about. It's just, constructive criticism and debating on what you think is going to be coming up in the next movies, what we've already seen, and how you think that the directors and producers are going to proceed into Phase 4. All right, well, so here's what the thing is. We just watched the end scene from Venom, and this is something that nobody has been talking about. We haven't seen anything online, no YouTube videos or channels doing this for this supposed Easter egg that we come across a few months ago.
Yeah. And
the movie's been out for over a year now, and nobody's picked up on this.
Yeah, I actually couldn't believe it when you told me about this Easter egg. I had to go and look at it online, and when I looked at it, I was like, "Holy crap! How's no one caught this?" Like, I really couldn't believe it. So,
and it's crazy to think that nobody caught on to it. And there's also a couple other things that we want to touch base on in this video too. Just in the last scene of Tom Hardy's Venom, a couple things that maybe we didn't see or we haven't seen anybody else doing, or possible things that are going to be happening. And this is all up for speculation. And like I said, it's just going to be a fun debate. Welcome to Marvelous Debates. And I almost just did a tongue twister.
So, you got to do it. You got to do it.
Tongue twister. Thor thought Thanos liked Loki's lips. There we go.
You got it.
Got it.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
Get that out of the way. Me. So what we want to touch base on is Eddie Brock sitting there talking with Annie, right in the ending scene. They talk about what's been going on throughout the movie. Now let's take a look at that video and see what we think.
Yeah.
I scored the interview of a lifetime.
Oh, yeah? Who?
You're gonna have to read it.
Oh, like everyone else.
Very, very suspicious. I think that's very strange. I want to know more. Eddie says he's got this new job opportunity that he doesn't want to talk about.
Yeah, an interview of a lifetime.
Interview of a lifetime is what he said. Now, what do you think that could possibly mean?
Now, I think that when he says that, I didn't think this at first. I didn't even catch on to it, actually, until we looked at it. But I think that it has to do with maybe J. Jonah Jameson, because I know that he's worked with him in the previous movies and in the comics and the cartoons, and that's kind of where Spider-Man and him have their conflict. So I think it might have to do with that. I know a lot of people probably think it has to do with Cletus Cassidy and having that interview with him at the end, which it very well could, but I don't know. I really think that this is also tying into that MCU, the multiverse and everything, because I don't know. I know that eventually he works for him, and then we saw J. Jonah Jameson at the end of Far From Home, so it kind of connects in a sense. I think it really well could be that. No. What's your opinion on that?
Very good theories for sure. Yeah, like you said, we got the multiverse, Doctor Strange multiverse coming up, and then we're hearing there's a lot of buzz on YouTube right now about Spider-Man's, Spider-Verse. These are things that definitely, and there's always been talk about bringing Venom into the MCU, and hopefully we see that. This is something that we're all still very, very excited for and hoping that it falls into place.
Right, and that's the crazy thing. I think this actually, this was actually done before losing the contract between Sony and Marvel. So, who's to say that that's really what it was meant for? But I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it was all a setup from the start. Maybe they just wanted to get more people engaged in it and views, and really this was their whole idea the whole time. So
that's actually a very interesting theory. Very interesting.
A lot of people have said that as well. We watch a lot of other theories and people's videos on this kind of stuff, so we kind of get ideas from that as well. So it's kind of neat to kind of just put things together and then come up with your own ideas and see what you can come up with.
Yeah, and we definitely would appreciate your comments, your ideas, just any type of constructive criticism or debate. We'll be reading, monitoring, and we will get back to you and hopefully touch base on a lot of the things in our next upcoming video. So the next thing that we want to talk about, now this is the biggest thing that nobody has touched base on since the movie has come out, which totally shocks me because I thought it was one of the biggest Easter eggs through the whole movie.
You can't even miss it when you rewatch it. I mean, you just can't. You can't. Once you told me about it and you watch it, you just cannot miss it.
It blew my mind.
Yeah.
Blew my mind. And you can't unsee it now that
No,
you've seen
you
it.
can't. It's in your head, and it's like, wow, how is that not meant to be what we think it's meant to be? You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Right. So we want to touch base on that. And first we're going to just show you this little clip, the end scene of Tom Hardy's Venom. And we want to know what you think. And let's just take a look at that. What do you say?
oh yeah, let's look.
All right.
You have to tell the difference. The deal is you will only ever be allowed to touch.
And you see, right there, just that. She's in the clip.
Mm-hmm.
He's walking casually. He doesn't even notice she's there.
Yeah.
Talking to himself, or Venom.
Yeah.
And she's staring at him
Yeah.
through the majority of his walk by. And then just slips out of the camera like she's stalking him.
Yeah, and she almost does one of these type of things, like
Like a fadeaway.
It's if you
Yeah.
watch real closely, she's like
Yeah.
it's just so obvious, and then just the glasses alone, the dark reddish glasses that she has
And
on.
they're
it looks-
almost... Yeah.
yeah.
Continue. I'm sorry.
No, it's good. It looks. I mean, you can't not think that woman looks a lot like Madam Web did in the cartoons, or even maybe the comics, or anything. Even the new Spider-Man game that's come out, it looks just like her with the gray, mid hair and the glass. I mean, it's just she was staring right at him. Like you cannot unsee that, and I don't know how anyone else out there has not seen this Easter egg. Like it blows our mind.
Yeah. And I agree. The gray hair, the goggle red glasses.
Yeah.
I mean, they were big, thick red glasses.
Yeah.
How do you miss that?
It's crazy.
Now, my theory is on this.
You watch now. A bunch of people are going to do a bunch of videos about it.
I hope so. Now, the biggest thing is we got the Doctor Strange multiverse coming out. Everybody thought that he was going to come through that. Now we got this buzz about the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Now, really, I mean, this would be the way to do it. Doctor Strange, I don't really see the connection there, in my opinion. But with Madam Web involved, yes. Madam Web was a big part of Spider-Man's whole trip through the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
The journey was just, in my opinion, kind of overwhelming.
Yeah.
Through that whole part of it. But this would be setting it up perfectly, if you ask me, for a Venom and Spider-Man film. I don't know. I know there's more to say. I think I'm a little overexcited. This is something.
It's pretty cool.
But what do you think?
I agree. I think that this could be I think this would be an even better way than using Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, only because I think a lot of people are thinking that's what's going to happen, which I do think it's going to do. Obviously, it's everything to do with the multiverse, but I really think that this could be a whole twist on it. Like, a lot of people haven't noticed this. I think that, I think if they brought Madam Web into it, it would be huge, and I think a lot of people would like it. I know I would love it. I think that'd be great. I have a lot of high hopes for the new Doctor Strange movie, but I really think that this would just connect the whole Venom and Spider-Man movie together, a lot better.
Right. Not only just that, but this would also help us connect what we're seeing right now into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Madam Web was the one that opened up that whole idea, or you could say opened up the portal to the Spider-Verse for Spider-Man.
Yeah, as far as I know, that's
so this is something that to me sounds practical, and not just practical, but
true to the comics.
True to the comics, yeah. True to the writing, for sure.
Yeah.
Right. Nope. Yeah, and this is something that I think we'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this. This is very exciting for us. This is kind of amazing. I'm hoping that people will catch on to this and give us some feedback on that. To me, it still blows my mind.
Yeah.
I don't know why nobody's caught on to it. But let us know what you think. And constructive criticism, this is our first video that we've ever done. We want you to hit that subscribe button. We want to make sure that you guys are still watching. I mean, we'll probably still be making these even if you're not, because this is what we like to do.
Yeah.
Another thing that we want to touch base on, this is like pretty much nothing, it's very minuscule, but funny nonetheless. At the very end of the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you told me earlier when we watched this that Venom, when the robber comes in, Venom bites his head off.
Yeah.
And then they just, after that scene, he walks out and then there's no body.
Yeah,
Now, what is your thought on that? You told me that you was thinking that it was just a mess up.
Yep. Yeah, I thought I actually, that was one of the first things I noticed before anything else. I thought that after he bit his head off, which is what we all assumed because it looks like he just bit his head off and walked out. Well, once he opens that door and exits the building, there's nothing laying on the ground, no body, no blood or nothing. And I know it's a PG-13 film, and they didn't make it rated R like a lot of people hoped and wanted. So yeah, that's not going to show all the gruesome stuff that goes on with it, but you would still think that they would have something in there on the ground or something to show for it if he just bit his head off. And I really believe that that's what they meant. They meant to bite his head off, and that was it, and he was out of there, because it kind of seemed to be the trend in that movie. He bite people's heads off. So I kind of thought that it was just an editor's mistake, a production mistake, or something like that, and it was just something that they didn't catch, and something that I caught. And I don't know. What was your opinion on it?
Me, you noticed the way that Venom is threatening him, which I thought was hilarious. That was probably one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. Was him sitting there, pretty much telling him how he's going to brutalize him, which was phenomenal to me. And that's just it. Now you think it was a mess up, and they just got rid of the body, whatever, gone, poof, gone, cutscene. All that fun stuff. But what if he just sat right there? Do you think that it's possible for Venom to actually eat an entire human?
I actually didn't think of it that way, but where he is a symbiote, and he can form into almost any shape or thing, why can't he make his mouth wider and could have just swallowed him whole, is what you're saying?
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I never thought of it that way. Like I said, I was going back to the trends of him biting people's heads off like he did in the comics, like he did in the movie prior to that scene. But yeah, he very well could have, and that's a good way to justify that if it, you know what I mean?
If it wasn't right.
Exactly.
Right.
But
even if it was a mess up, it's always fun to use your imagination.
Yeah, well, yeah, I always do that anyways, because I love these movies. I love Marvel. I love all the movies they've been making, and I always kind of like when people try to tell me, oh, there's plot holes, this and that. Well, yeah, there's always going to be plot holes in movies and stuff like that, but I always try to find the way to justify it because they're all good, and they've done a really good job making these movies. So, and I just love them. I don't want it to ruin it for me, even if there is plot holes, and I never let it ruin it for me, but I just find a way to justify it. But that's a good way of thinking it, because I never thought of it that way. I figured it was just a mistake, and it was a mess up, and it was like, well, that was kind of a crappy job, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe that's how it was meant to be.
Well, let's take a look at it, because right there he tells us that he's going to eat his arms, his legs, and his face. Might leave the head, but the face is gone.
Right, he did say that. So maybe he just decided, because on second thought, maybe he decided to just take his dinner right then and there and be
so
gone.
Let's take a look at that and see what the viewers think.
Yeah.
Eddie?
What was that? Oh, I have a parasite. Yeah. Name is Chen.
Parasite?
Yeah, it's a term of endearment. That's all.
Apologize!
Yeah, see, that right there kind of tells me that there's definitely something that you could portray almost any way you wanted. Like you said, you say they could have just been a mess up. I think maybe he just ate all of him. But
I mean, since you said that, I definitely say that, that's a good way of justifying it, and it definitely could be true. Maybe that's what he did.
Well, we'll just have to leave it up to the viewers and see what they think.
Leave a comment below if that's what you think that actually happened. Or maybe you have different ideas that we haven't thought of that might have happened throughout all these different Easter eggs. So don't forget to leave a comment, a like, and hit that subscribe button.
Hit that subscribe button, because we
You
want to
better
make
hit
more
it,
of these.
and you better punch it.
No!
This is Marvelous Debates. Hope you liked the video, and we'll be making more of these. So stay tuned.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Marvelous Debates.